Okay, so trigrams are a bit confusing. I know I struggled with it in the beginning. I still struggle with it. I'm still understanding them, but I think I got the gist of it. So I'm gonna explain it. I'm gonna explain this as best as I can. Okay, so when we go to trigrams, we have all these different trigrams. The main ones you will have starting out will be ripple, maybe lotus, phoenix, and blossom. Those will be like you're more likely to be your mains. So right now I have my lotus maxed out. And basically every rune has a different attribute set, and those attributes can match with specific classes. However, trigrams are more universal. Universal meaning that they can affect the entire team, boost their attributes in the team, not just a class itself. So, I'm not sure if that makes sense, but that's kind of it. So, for example, Lotus gives crit, damage buff, and attack. That will make it a good fit for teams that have either scholar main or a few other scholars, since they need their crit. However, I do not recommend it because when you go to countering, you can see the trigrams it fights against and wins, and it is Ripple and Cyclone. And then you can also see the trigrams it loses against. So it's Ripple, Blossom, Koi, and Star. Sorry, this one is below trigram, my bad. But yeah, so make sure when you're picking a trigram to check how easily it's countered, what the attributes is, and if it's gonna help you or not. Okay, my next one that I was advancing was my Phoenix, which isn't too bad like Lotus, because Lotus loses to 4, but this one is still not the most needed, but it does give a guy, so it's really useful. It also gives crit damage and resistance, so it does give good buffs, so don't get me wrong. So you can definitely work on it if you choose it, but just know it can be fought against. So yeah. Okay, next up is Star. Star is one that I will recommend. It's only countered by duo. And then this one gives HP, attack, and a guy. So duo can really help out with gourmet teams. If you're a gourmet class, if you have multiple gourmets, this can help their attributes in not only them but also the team. But yeah. Next we have Blossom. Blossom and Koi are your go-to if you have doctors, which you'll probably have. But like if you have a doctor class, you're doing double dogs or something like that, you're gonna want accuracy. You want to boost the AC of those and also the accuracy of damage dealers. So like scholars with crowd control like Doyoung, they also need their accuracy. So Koi will be the best one, but there's also Blossom. Blossom gives AC, Ava, and DEF, so it's a good trigram to have, but again, make sure to check and see their counterability. Okay, so obviously I'm going to talk about Koi, and then Koi is only countered by 1. It fights these 3, but essentially it can be countered by just 1 trigram. So it's good. It gets accuracy, damage rest, and DEF. So this is the difference between these two. Blossom gives Ava, and Koi gives damage rest. So they're both good for doctors and scholars. Okay, next up will be your duo. Duo gives a guide, resistance, and Ava. This can be universal. This can go for all classes. Only countered by Koi. So basically these two fight each other. the entire battle. So think about it that way. Oh, I'm about to die. Okay. Next we have Cyclone. Cyclone is definitely not recommended. It only fights 2 versus 4, so not recommended to main it, but it does give good buff. Don't get me wrong. So DF, resistant, and damage rest. Okay, next up we got Ripple. So Ripple gives defense, resistant, crit, damage, and rest. So this will be good for scholars. This can also be good for guards. Okay. And then again, fights 2, fights 3. So yeah, just make sure to check them out and see if they help you or not. They can definitely help your team and boost. So just extra things to look out for just in case. And then we have Cloud Trigram. Cloud Trigram is only countered by Star. So remember, Star was this one that gives a guy. Cloud gives crit, damage buff, crit damage. If you want a good trigram for a scholar heavy team, you want Cloud. It gives crit, damage buff, and crit damage. And also it fights against strong trigrams. Okay. And then lastly, this is Ripple. So trigram, Billow, and Koi. What did I say? Did I say that one was... Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm still sick. Okay, so this one gives attack, crit, and crit damage. Also good trigram. And here it is. So I'm just going to explain again one more time. So this is Lotus. It gives attack, gives crit, damage buff. So it's good. Right? When you advance it to plus 20 or level 120, that's when you max out the trigram and you can move on to the next. I would not recommend doing what I did, which was advancing all of them. Mostly because you have this many red dots. Right? And it will tell you advance me and advance me. And then you're gonna run out. And you're gonna struggle a little bit. So don't do it. Just focus individually. But essentially you want to focus on the ones that will help your team. So those could be Star, could be Blossom, Koi, Duo, and Cloud. So here it is again. So Cloud, Duo, Koi, Blossom is good, and then Star. Those could be like the ones you would want to main after you finish the first tower. So okay, so we talked that. Let's talk about the trigram tower. Where is it? Okay. Okay, so you have 3 levels, and then essentially you will get these books, right? Once you get a book with a specific trigram and you haven't gotten it before, that's how you can unlock it, right? You will also get chests. Do I have the chests? Like this ones, where you get to pick your books. Hoard these ones, because the more you advance it, the more books you need. So make sure to hoard the chests for when that happens. Typically, it's every 10 levels of advancing that you will need a certain amount of books. But yeah. So there's that. But yeah. Yeah, I haven't finished tower, but just know once you finish tower and you haven't maxed out trigrams, you will just have to continue blitzing until you get more chests or books. So just be aware of that, and that's why I wouldn't recommend to work on all of the trigrams at once, because if you continue advancing your might, you will run out of a tower